Welcome to Puvanur RBIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RBIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. I would normally like to congratulate whenever there is a milestone in anyone's career. And today I would like to congratulate all of you. You know the reason, it's very obvious. You've completed one more Thala, Kanda, Jathi, Triputa Thala. We had seen the entire cycle of this Thala, the reduction, Mora, Koru, everything. Let's do a quick recap. I typically wanted to ensure that whatever I taught, I want to give the highlights of each of the sequences, the perspectives, so that you get the good idea before you even get into the practice to perfect this Thala. Before I get into the revision and review of this Thalam, I will start this class with a Tirukkural. நயன் உடையான் நல்கூர்ந்தான் ஆதல் செய்யும் நீர செய்யாது அமைகளாவாறு. What is the meaning of it? பிறர்க்கு உதவி செய்து ஒழுகும் கடமையை இயல்பாக உடையவருக்கு பிறர்க்கு உதவி செய்ய முடியாமல் வருந்துவதே அவருக்கு வறுமையாகும். What does it say? A person, how he compares this, a person who always has a mind to help others, for him the poverty is what is deemed as poverty for him is not to help others is a poverty for him. He feels like, hey, I'm unable to help. No, that's so it's compared, Tiruvallur compares that state to the poverty of that person. So it's very high that you need to help others. With this good thought, I'll get into the revision and review of this Thala, Kanda, Jathi, Triputa, the magic number 9. So we saw 11 sequences. Tadhin Dinna is the first sequence. We saw 3-4 perspectives in this. How to approach? Din kittu taka din din na ta din din na din din na kata taka din kata taka dibita. This is one approach. Then we also saw ta din din na din kittu taka din din na kata taka dibita. First 2 and then the 3 and then the Triputa format. Then we also did a slice of Ganda for the 5, 2.5 beats. Din kittu taka din na din kata taka din na din na dum kata taka taka. So we adapted the first half for the Ganda Chapu, then the second half with the Triputa Thalam. As I told you, it's a relational study. Kanda, Jathi and Adi Thalam, Kanda, Jathi, Thalam and Adi Thalam. So Ardhanarishwara, 9 is a magic number. I also compared this Laya with Shiva, Lord Shiva. So it's important, you need to do the relational study whenever you practice this. Again, I also told you we can also use the Tadhin Dinna in a different approach, completely slice of 3. Din kittu taka din din na din tata din na din kata taka dimi. The entire structure can be made into a 3 Rupaka Thalams, combination of 3 Rupaka Thalams, and then you can deal with it. Another approach, Misra Chapu Thalam and the phrase Tad din na tata din na taka din na talangata. All these are ideas. You don't have to play the similar ones, but you can play And another very simple one is complete balance of first four. First half is first four, the last half is last four. In between, you can give a pause. Din din na, kataka din din that tam. Din din na, kataka din din ta. This is a very very easy way for landing and playing it. So, as you decide to choose the sequence, you can go in that track and then continue for playing for all the families of Kedatagadim, Talongadim, Takadanadim, using different structures I talked about. The same Tadindina can be played in 5-6 varieties. So, this is number one. So, here I have not demonstrated in my class all the varieties, but I have given you homework to do, and the workshops and review classes with me I will ensure that all your doubts are clear. That's my approach. Because the reason is, when I make you quizzical, when I ensure that I want you to do the homework, then your knowledge widens, then your doubts are clarified, then you enrich your knowledge, you start thinking, I want that to happen. Only then the growth, the jnana growth, I could see in a much granular way. So, now next let's look at taka dhimi dhimi taka sequence. Dhimi dhimi taka 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 dhimi dhimi ta dhimi dhimi taka 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 dhimi dhimi ta. Again the same concept of different types of approaches. You can adapt this taka-dhimi-dhimi-taka sequence. The simple vanilla sequence would be the central dissect of 4 first half, the last second half, 4 the last second half, and in between you give a pause, or you use a fitting phrase to get the balance. So that was the learning in taka-dhimi-dhimi-taka. Then we went into taka-dhimi-tatha-dhimi sequence. We used all the kidadak, 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 takka, kidadak, 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 talanga, kidadak, 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 using all these phrases. Taka, dhimi, tata, dhimi, tata, dhimi, taka, dhimi, tata, dhim, dhimi, tata, dhim, kidadak, 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 kidadak. Went on playing all these phrases, reducing it and finishing it in style. When you play more, again I taught you this is one way of playing a 9-beat mora. If you want to push one beat, if you want to make a 7-beat mora, we also saw further to play a mora for 6 beats, 5 beats and 4 beats, how you can shrink the phrase and then adjust beautifully 3 pieces, and in between looking at the gaps, doing the math and leaving those carveys also we saw. So all these you have to go and look at it and master it. So it's just not, if I deal it in one thala, it doesn't mean it's just for the thala. This math is applicable universally, globally, for all the thalas you can try, for all the phrases you can try, for all the sequences you can try. So that's the idea behind it, letting you know the concept of it. So you have to understand the concept well and try to adapt the concept across the board. That's the learning. Then we saw tadhimi takat tadhim tankatagadam tadhimi takat tadhim tankatagadam tadhimi takat tadhim tankatagadam tadhimi tankatagadam 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 takat tadhim tankatagadam 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 we saw a beautiful way how to quickly reduce and then bring it if you have a time constraint, elongate the pattern for a longer time if you have the imagination, and use different approaches and play, show your vinyasa, laya vinyasa. So there are many gamuts of possibilities when you are approaching a thala, depending on the audience, depending on the time, depending on your expertise, depending on type of people you have, you can adapt your style of playing. Then we went into Dhim Tha Dhimi Di Naka. We saw a beautiful resonant sound in between. Dhim Tha Dhimi Di Naka, Dhimi Tha Dhimi Di Naka, Din 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 Tha Dhimi Di Naka, Dhimi Tha Dhim Tha Thalang, Takatalang, Tam Gedataka, Tarikataka. Then we saw Talang Takadim, Takudigu Takadim. All these phrases we saw in Din Gedatakadim. So go back to those classes and see how I've demonstrated you the vanilla part. I've also given you approaches on how you can do it different ways. Then we went into Takadimi Takajunu, Tangu Taddin, Taddin Tangu. All these are deemed as Sarvalagu patterns. I didn't disturb much, but I used the phrases I demonstrated. I also told you how you can use the Balapadam, those patterns into these sequences, and also the 4-beat sequence, 4-beat phrase. All these phrases you can fit into these Sarvalagu patterns and play beautifully. Those are the sequence 7, 8 and 9. Then we went into the masterly stroke of Nadhamaya sequence was Takadimi, 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 Takadimi. We saw at length. Go to that individual class and see how the approach I have taught you. And just I'm giving you a recap now in this overall what all we did. So it gives you a good idea. Then Thangatata Dhimi Tata Dhimi Thangatata Dhimi Tata Dhimi Takadimi Tata Dhimi. We dealt this Talangatata Dhimi, Kadata Dhimi, Thangatata Dhimi, Thangatata Dhimi, Tata Dhimi, Nangatata Dhimi, Tata Dhimi, Tarikataka Dhimi, Tarikataka Tata Dhimi. We saw all this. Then we landed into the reduction. The reduction we saw as 5 and 4. And I gave you 2-3 patterns. Takita dim, takita din, takita din ta. Takita dim, takita dim, takita takadina. Tangada dim, tangada dim, tangada din ta. Tangada dim, tangada dim, tangada takadariga. Targada dim, targada dim, targada din ta. Targada dim, targada dim, targada takadariga. All these patterns we saw in traditional reduction. When you get a dialogue mode with the Upapakavadyam or co-artist, you can exchange and play all these patterns in much more creative way. Then I taught you the vanilla furrons. You can do the reverse way. 5-4, 4-5. You can go as a palindrome model. Palindrome is nothing but a reverse. 5-4-4-5, 4-5-4-5. So I also taught you the traditional reduction, the mora, the vanilla moras, the vanilla furrons, the mora titham, and then the tadithom, simple, go right, how to do it. And then the grand finish of using tam, tatakadinna, takadimi, takajunno, takadimi, talangadinda tam, talangadinda tam, talangadinda tam. That's how we have come to the end of Kanda Jathi Triputa Thalam in its entirety. So if you have any doubts, one thing is you can go and revisit all my 8 modules in this special Thalam, Kanda Jathi Triputa Thalam. If you still have any more clarifications, if you have any other further, we can have a one-on-one in our review classes. I will clear all your doubts. Again, congratulations for completing in its entirety. I'm going to sign off this class with the Tirukkural, and I'm going to commence the last but not the least in the series of 35 Thala series, Tisra Jathi Triputa Thala, 7-beat cycle. It's a very small Thala. We will see the approach. It's not as same as Misra Chapel. It's Tisra Triputa, though it's 7 beats, the beats will be little different, and we will see how we can how we can do this in this thala, in this structure of 3+4. ஒப்புரவினால் வரும் கேடியனின் அஃதொருவன் விற்றுக்கோள் தக்கது உடைத்து. பிறர்க்கு உபகாரம் செய்வதனால் தனக்கு பொருட்கேடு உண்டாகும் என்றால் அப்பொருட்கேடு தன்னை விற்றாவது கொள்ளத்தக்க தகுதியை உடையதாகும். See, what does it mean? If a person wants to help, and by helping he is going to lose some wealth out of it, no, then he should at least sell himself to do that. That's what Triputa compares. Even if he loses something, if it's something for a good cause, he should do that. He weighs more than you losing the money. That's a great comparison he makes. So he gives a lot of value for the people who has the tendency to help others. And that's important. With this good thought, I'm signing off with the completion of Kanda Jathi Triputa Thala. I'll see you in the next class with Tisra Jathi Triputa Thala 7-beat cycle. It is a combination of 1 lagu and 2 dhrutams, and the structure goes like this. Pranams.
Mm-hmm.